it's not popular to say this, but I'm a pretty sensitive guy. Ever since I was a little kid, I was sensitive. You know, my mom likes to tell me, I'd watch the TV program with the starving kids in Africa and start crying, you know, and that stuck with me. So that sort of sensitivity about what I perceived as not being right with the world, I carried that in through to adulthood, and I just I couldn't cope with the world as it was. So I was drinking to deal with that. And lo and behold, what they told us in high school health class was true. Alcohol is a depressant, surprisingly. And I was already depressed about the way the world, what I saw as being wrong with the world, and I threw more and more depressants on top of that. Until I guess I was probably 24 years old, I had a complete meltdown. I had a rough time in a romantic relationship, but I can't really blame this sort of meltdown on me breaking up with a girlfriend or whatever. Had been building and building and building, and I came home from a wedding actually, and was really drunk and ate a bunch of, like, 2 or 3 boxes of sleeping pills, over-the-counter sleeping pills. I didn't know that they had ingredients in them that would keep you up. So at this point, I've eaten all these pills and I'm drunk, and I laid down on my couch and I'm cranking this music and I'm just like, I'm going to die. This is awesome. I'm done with this terrible world and these people and everything's a matter, you know. I'm going to exit this. But what happened was I woke up crazy and drunk. So just completely out of my mind. So I took some furniture from the house and set it on top of our gas stove in the kitchen. Me and my ex-girlfriend caught it on fire and tried to burn the house down. So at this point, the house starts smoking because there's this fire in the kitchen. And my neighbor, who actually was my landlord, God bless him, he's an understanding guy, called the fire department. The police show up. At this point, I'm just completely maniacally whacked out on champagne. I came from a wedding. It was a bottle of wedding champagne. And these sleeping pills, which made me just psychotic. And I'm swinging from the trees in the backyard. The house is on fire. The fire department comes, puts it out. The police show up, and I don't really remember, but just a bit of this. They showed up and handcuffed me, and I was spitting at the police, you know, calling them pigs, just like, because I was going to die. I figured I'll do whatever I want. I'm going to die at this point. And then the police started in on me a bit with a nightstick, and luckily my neighbor came and stopped them. And they thought I was on crack or something. You know, they didn't realize that I was having this, you know, yes, there were substances involved, but they were both legal substances, and that I was having a complete emotional breakdown. I was trying to exit this existence. So they put me in a psych ward and put me in an ambulance and sent me off to, wasn't an ambulance actually, it was the paddy wagon, something I would grow familiar with over the years. And I wound up in a psych ward in Richmond, and then pumping my stomach. And the next day I woke up and I'd spent about 3 days in the psych ward. And I remember someone tried to talk to me about alcohol. They were like, you know, you might want to look at your drinking. I'm like, I'm depressed. You know, my girlfriend left me. It's not about alcohol. I didn't even say I was depressed. It's like, it's about this girlfriend. You know, I didn't realize that I'd internalized all this stuff for years and years and years, and just tried to deal with it myself, you know, until it finally reached this meltdown point. And after that, I got out of the psych ward. I continued to drink. I drank and did drugs for 22 years. Until I couldn't take anymore. And always, you know, on the outside, you would look at my life and you would see, you know, a guy in a successful band who I'd gotten married for a second time. My wife hadn't left me. I had some money in the bank account, but inside I was dying, literally dying. I never tried to kill myself again. I wrote that off as a youthful indiscretion, I suppose, youthful idiocy. But I never dealt with the problem, which was me. And I never talked to people about it. I just kept on pouring more and more alcohol and drugs on it until finally one day I woke up and I didn't want to live. I didn't want to die. I just felt like complete nothing, a void, just empty. And some little part of me said, man, you got to try something different. You got to try something different. So I just, I said God, for lack of a better term, because I don't have a concrete definition of what God is. You want to call it the spirit of the universe, your better inner self, whatever it is, a higher power. I said, just please help me. I gotta stop this, and I gotta find a different way. And then slowly I accepted some help from some other people, and put the drink and the drugs away, and slowly my life began to get better. But it was a rough, for good, I guess, 15 of the 22 years I drank and did drugs, it was really, really rough. Waking up filled with self-loathing, not remembering what I'd done the night before, pissing everyone off, all that stuff, because I didn't like the way the world was. I couldn't accept it. So I tried to make it go away. And it was a rough 15 years. Hey, you matter, you're needed, and you rock.